It's actually one of God's greatest gifts to us, is because He gave us a brain that is not only capable of learning, but it's capable of healing
Mm,
at any moment. You just have to make the decision to do so.
yeah.
And so if she came to me with the intent of saying, I want to heal from this, well, we have everything needed in order to do that because her brain was designed to be updated, it was designed to be changeable. And so but in order to do that, we have to go into that experience and we have to let it bother her one more time. Welcome, welcome to Internet. Are you okay? The podcast where we dig into the internet's wildest stories to figure out what's really going on underneath. I'm your host, Patrick Ward. I'm a neuroplastician who helps people change the emotional patterns running their lives by using their brain's natural ability to update so we can change and rewrite those painful memories. In other words, if you come to me, we won't be doing any talk therapy. What we'll be doing is using your mental mechanics as leverage for your mental health. What I do is called memory reconsolidation. It's a powerful research-backed approach that's helping people all over the world recover from complex emotional issues, from severe PTSD, lack of confidence and self-worth, to general anxiety disorder. If you're curious, check out the Why It Works page at healingmindshift.com. Each week, I'm joined by my wife, Lauren, who brings me the latest gems she's uncovered from Reddit and beyond. Now, if something I say hits close to home this episode, you're not alone. You can book a free discovery call to learn more about what I offer at healingmindshift.com, or you can book a 1 or 2 hour session. I do my best to reply as quickly as possible. Tune in each week as we dive into the web's darkest corners. I'm ready, you're ready, so let's go. Hey everyone, we have a very serious podcast episode today. So just be warned, it does involve a woman that was raped who was contemplating suicide. Please know that I did reach out and I did offer to give a free session. I did not hear back from her, but that does not mean anything. Sometimes people post on Reddit when they are at the height of their emotions, things calm down and life moves forward. But again, just be warned, we are talking about some serious things today. This may not be the episode for you. Um, but if you choose to stay, just be warned. We're going into some dark territory.
Yeah, so our official trigger warnings before I read the Reddit thread are self-harm and suicide, sexual assault. And then just a reminder to anyone in a similar situation, you can always reach out to the suicide hotline. Just dial 988 to get some immediate support if you're feeling in a similar place contemplating self-harm or suicide. Okay, so with that, this was off a Reddit thread, true off my chest. This is a 20-year-old woman. She says, I think I have to die. I don't really know how to do it because I'm scared of the pain, but I can't keep living like this anymore. My boyfriend broke up with me, and I know you're thinking, well, you're young, you'll find love, but it's also how he broke up with me as well. I was sexually assaulted in 2023, and I've been scared of sex ever since, and he broke up with me because I couldn't have sex. I feel like a failure. What other guy will ever want me when I can't do the one thing that like every guy wants? I went through so much pain in this relationship. He was angry and he scared me, and I just wanted to be a good girlfriend and keep things happy so badly, and he still broke up with me anyways. I don't think there's any hope for me. I don't think anyone else will love me. I feel like all of my friends are annoyed by me. My mom hates me. I think everyone will be better off with me, she wrote. I think she meant without me. I've been depressed before, but the pain I'm feeling right now, it's unimaginable. I can't do this. I don't want people to see me. I can't go to work. I don't want to go back to school. I feel constantly embarrassed and ashamed. My life feels ruined. I'm such a burden on everyone. I just want to make their lives easier and stop feeling so much pain. It's like I get sexually assaulted. I go through all this trauma. I have to keep it a secret from basically everyone in my life, but I'm the one being punished for it. Something horrible happens to me and I lose my boyfriend over it. I don't think I'll ever experience love, real love, ever. It's so sad, Patrick. I'm going to let you jump in on this one.
Okay, let's go.
Go for it. Let's go. Buckle up.
All right. Where to start?
So she was sexually assaulted in 2023. It's kind of like I feel like that's the big thing
Yeah.
standing out of all the issues she mentioned.
Yeah. All right. So just a quick recap. I know it's probably said at the beginning of the show notes. I'm a neuroplastician. I'm not a talk therapist. I'm not here to help people accept what happened in their past. I'm actually here to actively change things within the person's mind. If she and I were to work together, we would actively change all aspects of this rape memory so that it's no longer playing in her head. Can I get it to the point where she'll think it never happened? No, I'm not going to be able to do that. But I am going to be able to change what she holds within her and what's playing within her mind 24/7.
Mm.
That gift is worth more than I could ever truly communicate to anyone. When you can change what a person holds within them, it changes who they think they are. Unfortunately, with this young woman, her rape experience has changed who she thinks she is. And that's the biggest tragedy out of all of this, is that she believes she no longer has any value and she does not see a life worth living anymore. So we need to change that, and we need to change it ASAP. Now, many times when I work with a person, they just come to me and they're like, I have this thing that I do. I don't understand why I react the way that I do. I want to change that. Okay. And so we'll go start digging into their past and we'll start finding the memories that have basically been acting as code for their behavior. For her, we've obviously got this huge experience that happened to her. So right off the bat, I'm not going to go digging, but I will dig eventually because there are things that she said that suggest that there are other traumas affecting her behavior beyond this one. But right off the bat, we're going to work on the rape experience. We're going to get out of her head so that it stops affecting who she thinks she is. It's going to start just being like a story that she read many, many years ago. And it's not going to feel true to her. She'll know it happened. She'll know she experienced it, but it's not going to become a part of her identity. So we're going to work on that first because that's the biggest thing going on within her life.
Right.
Now, to do that, we're gonna attack all aspects of the memory. We're gonna look at not just the emotions. You know, emotions are a part of a memory, but we're gonna look at the faces people made. We're gonna look at the physical sensations she can recall. We're gonna look at what she thinks that rapist thought of her that night. And we're gonna zoom out and we're gonna look at the scene unfold as if she were a fly on the wall because all of these things act as building blocks to her memory,
Mm.
and we're gonna attack them one at a time. You know, a thing that I often talk about when I'm kind of explaining what I do is this is gonna sound unrelated, and it is, but it's just a quick aside. Is when Napoleon was doing his thing, he won a lot of battles because instead of just letting his men fire randomly at whatever they wanted, he said, all of you, fire at the left side.
Mm.
All of you, fire at the center. By having that directed focus on one thing at a time, he destroyed armies because his men had focus and direction. That's what we do when we do memory work. We go after each thing individually and we attack it head on with everything we've got to the point where the memory just doesn't stand a chance. It's not going to stay the same within your mind when we're done with it.
Well, let me jump in and piggyback off of what you just said, because I feel like that's a big ask from someone, especially who's been through something so traumatic, to be like, let's relive this event from every single angle we can possibly think of. That sounds like a terrible experience to have to relive it at such in such detail.
And I agree
So
with you. It is
what do you
it is a
yeah.
terrible experience.
Yeah.
What
Go ahead.
what's worse though?
Right.
Asking me asking you to do it with me in a session one more time,
Yeah.
or doing it every day the rest of your life, regardless of whether
Yeah.
you're asked to or not.
And having it pop out of the blue
Yeah.
when something reminds you of
Yeah.
it. That's true.
She's doing this regardless. This is something that it's like that Clockwork Orange scene when that main character's eyes
Oh,
are kept open and he has to watch the same things over and over again.
yeah.
That's what's going on for her.
Yeah.
She's having to watch this regardless of whether she wants to or not. So do it with me, and let's kick the crap out of it so that it
Yeah.
stops bothering her, right?
Right. That makes sense.
But yeah, that's how this process works. Memory reconsolidation requires you to go into the memory and have it bother you.
Right.
Every time you go into a memory, your brain releases chemicals that makes the neurons associated with that memory. It makes the proteins associated in charge of holding those neurons intact. It makes those proteins malleable. It makes them changeable, which is what enables you to learn, and that's the process that we lean into. If you just kind of talk about this memory and you don't make it bother you, well then we may not have those neurons where we need them to be. So in order for significant change to occur, because we want your brain to release all those chemicals to make those neurons changeable. You know, I hate to break it to people, but I'm a pretty spiritual guy at the end of the day. And I think it's actually one of God's greatest gifts to us is because he gave us a brain that is not only capable of learning, but it's capable of healing
Mm.
at any moment. You just have to make the decision to do so.
Yeah.
And so if she came to me with the intent of saying, I want to heal from this, well, we have everything needed in order to do that because her brain was designed to be updated, it was designed to be changeable. And so but in order to do that, we have to go into that experience and we have to let it bother her one more time.
Right.
But lots of things going on with this story that we kind of need to talk about. She is afraid of sex now.
Mm-hmm.
Rightfully so. Who can blame her? No one's going to blame her for that.
Sure.
Um, a couple things could have happened that night. One, it felt horrible and it was just a painful, horrible experience, which is highly likely. Another thing that sometimes happens to victims of rape is that you can only do so much stuff down there before it starts feeling good. You're just going to have a physical reaction to things. And it will happen even if you don't want the sexual experience. And I've worked with people who were raped 10 years ago, 20 years ago, longer. And because the experience felt good, they will feel like their body betrayed them. As a
Gotcha.
consequence, these people often will become hyper aware of every physical sensation in their body. And they'll think that they're getting sick, they're getting cancer, they're developing some weird disease. And consequently, oftentimes they will get sick. And maybe they manifested it with their brain or it's just from stress, the stress of living. But they will become hyper aware and they will start to think that their body is betraying them. Why do they think that? They think their body betrayed them because that night their body betrayed them. It did
Right.
things it wasn't supposed to do, right? But for her, it sounds like it was probably a painful experience. And now she can't think of sex without thinking of pain and discomfort. Again, rightfully so. Who can blame her?
Mhm.
Which is another reason we want to work on this quickly. Not not just because she's suicidal. Obviously, that's the main reason I would want to work with her and get her to a better place because she's a valuable person. She came to this planet to have a good experience, and let's make sure she has one, right? No one should ever be in a space where they just feel like life's not worth living. The world's a beautiful place if you let it be. Um, After we get her to a good place, we want her to also start associating good things with sex again because sex is important. It's core to so many people's identity. It's who they are. At the end of the day, their sexual drive and their passion is at the core of their being.
Hmm.
And she is not able to access that part of herself because it's been broken. It's been broken by someone that didn't care about her, didn't treat her like a human being. So now at the core of her being, she feels broken and she feels unworthy. We need to get that to a good place so that she starts associating good things with sex again. Because even if we get her to a place where she's no longer even contemplating the idea of suicide, we want to make it so that she's able to make love with whoever she chooses to, and she does so happily and joyfully, because that's part of life. You know, you, the sexual experience is part of life, and it should be a good experience.
Yeah, it
But
sounds like that's definitely impacted her most recent relationship.
yeah,
Didn't
I
sound
mean,
like it ended well, whether he was a good guy or not. Moving forward, she would probably still have a similar experience, regardless of what kind of partner she chooses.
yeah. And so after we got this rape trauma to a better place in her mind, I would start asking her about the the partners she's had. I I'm wondering if the person that raped her was her boyfriend at the time. I don't know this, but
Yeah,
I
who
would
knows?
I would hope that she would be able to share that experience with me because uh, if I can find out who it was, we can start seeing patterns
Hmm.
in her
What kind of
life.
patterns?
If it was a partner and she was dating someone that was willing and obviously capable of doing that to her, has she been dating people that just weren't good for her
Mm,
for a while? Sometimes people will, because she says she's never really had a good love experience and she doesn't see herself having one ever.
yeah, this guy
Um,
scared her, was angry.
I would, I know this is going to sound weird, but I would ask her about mom and dad. Did mom and dad show her love? If they didn't, what people often do is they will get with people that are bad for them because that's what their brain associates with love, even if it's not the ideal experience of love.
Right.
So,
Like
if
they're
she's been,
mirroring what they grew up with.
yeah, it's just the brain seeks familiarity, even if it doesn't think it's the ideal. It's like, I
Hmm.
understand who this person is. He reminds me just like my dad. And so I'm going to get with this person because it's what I know.
Right. You
And
know what to expect, even if it's not good.
yeah, unfortunately, that's a very common story for a lot of people is that
Yeah.
they will repeat partners like like they will date the same type of people because it reminds them of mom and dad
Right.
at a subconscious level. They probably wouldn't say, "Yeah, I'm dating this guy because he's just like my dad." No one would ever say that. But to the subconscious, that's what the subconscious does. It seeks familiarity because your brain is tribal, and you seek people that remind you of your tribe because that's how you stay safe. You stay safe by staying with the tribe. So I would ask her questions about previous partners she's had, not assuming that she's been raped before, but just kind of to see if I can get an understanding of like, okay, this is a pattern for you. You've been dating people that don't care about you. did dad care about you?
Mm.
This is low on the totem pole when working with her. The rape experience is the first thing we go after, and we get that to a better place. But after that, we want to kind of make sure that she doesn't date people that are bad for her again. Because there's a lot of people on this planet. You don't have to date people that aren't good for you. You can be highly selective with who you want to be with. And just as long as you know what you want, you can most likely find that person. But I would ask her about previous partners and see what the story is there and possibly do some work with that. She says she's been depressed before.
Yeah.
We would find out why, and it might tie into what we were just talking about. It might go back to mom and dad experiences or
Hmm.
something like that. The what often happens with a traumatic experience is you will project it everywhere you look because it's all you think about. It's constantly on loop in your brain.
Yeah.
So of course you're going to see it everywhere you look. And she's thinking people don't want to hang out with her anymore. She's thinking her mom hates her. She's projecting all of these thoughts onto people that are most likely just her own. It sounds like she doesn't like herself anymore. It sounds like
Mm.
she hates who she is. I mean, obviously, she's willing to commit suicide. So obviously, there's some self-hatred there. It's not
Right.
just the fact that she doesn't think life will ever be good. I think she's angry at herself to some degree.
That
I'm not
makes
saying she blames herself for the rape. She should never, ever blame herself for the rape. But nonetheless, even if she doesn't, there's still a degree of self-hatred there that we
Yeah, and
know
she
need to
talks about
address.
feeling ashamed,
Yeah, she
embarrassed
feels
and ashamed, not
ashamed.
wanting to be seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And all of these things are just that night bubbling to the surface within her. You don't have to actively think of a memory for it to rule your life and your thought process. Um, Memories can bubble up in so many different ways. Case in point, she thinks everyone hates her and is angry at her. She's probably projecting their anger and their hatred onto them because she has this rape experience living in her mind of that guy who was angry at her and probably hated her.
Hmm.
So she's projecting all these things onto them. And that's the memory bubbling to the surface. When you think you know what other people think of you, that's a memory bubbling to the surface. It's whatever you learned that night or whatever you thought you learned that night and whatever you made that experience mean. That's the memory bubbling to the surface. And so all of these things can be addressed with memory reconsolidation because, at the end of the day, your brain just operates by basically ones and zeros. Is this thought on or is it off? And so anything that is going on within your mind can be addressed through memory reconsolidation. And so we can get her to a point where she doesn't think these things about herself. We can get her to a point where she doesn't think other people think these things about her. Um, all of this can be done. Can it be done in a single session? That's the question. Maybe, maybe not. Let's be honest. This was 2 years ago. The healthiest thing you can do after a traumatic experience is not allow yourself to think about it. That's a lot. That's a big ask.
Hmm.
But the reason I say that is because each time you go to that memory, you're building a bigger web. So you're making those neurons stronger. You're making those synaptic highways more efficient. They know what to do and when to do it when you go there. It's like, oh, you want to rebuild this experience? Okay, we're getting really good at rebuilding this one for you. All right, just give us half a second. We've got it ready for you.
Yeah.
All of that is done because you've built a strong neural network associated with this memory. But can it be changed? Of course it can be. But it may take a little longer depending on how long you've thought about a particular memory and this is going to sound insensitive, but how long you've abused yourself. For
Like by
her,
reliving it in your mind.
yeah, but it's like she was raped 2 years ago. Has she been raped every day since? Yes, within her mind.
Mm-hmm.
So she's built a bigger neural network, and we will need, it might take a little bit more time to address,
Yeah.
but we can get it to a good place. Now, sometimes people don't want to change stories because they're like, this is untruthful. I don't want to change the past because that's not what happened. I just want to come to peace with it. That may be true for a lot of life experiences, but for someone like her, what is she going to understand? What lessons has she learned other than sex is dangerous? I'm of no value. There's
Mm-hmm.
there's no worth to life anymore. Let's just
Yeah,
end it
there's no
all.
meaning for her to gain from this experience.
Nothing that would help her.
No.
So we're going to change the story completely. And again, will she remember that happened? Of course. I can't do but so much with memory reconsolidation, but I can change what you hold within you so that it's no longer a part of your identity. And the
Yeah.
way that we would do that is we would actually change the story of what happened, change it completely.
Yeah.
Instead of hanging out with that guy that night, she went out and saw a movie with her friends. And it was the best night ever. Came back and played board games and then
Mhm.
had a great night afterwards. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But change it to something that when she thinks of it, it makes her feel good. And the brain is so great that after we've changed the story within her mind, the same neurons that held on to this trauma are going to be the neurons that said, "Oh no, we actually had a good night that night. Let me let me show you what happened."
Mm-hmm.
The brain's powerful, and it was designed to be updated, and you can heal. You just have to make the choice to do so. But anyway, yeah, big topic with this one. I suspect that she's had painful relationships a lot of her for most of her life,
Okay.
and I'm not going to say she walked into it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that her brain associated the wrong people with love because it's what she knew.
Yeah.
And we'll change that so that with her next person, when she's ready to date again and to be with someone again, she gets with the person that's right for her, not instead of the person she thinks she should be with. And that will change her outlook on life. Not that she'll find
And the
her
whole
value through
experience.
someone
Yeah.
else. We're not saying that,
No,
but we will say that she'll enjoy life more if she's with
two
someone that
separate
actually
things.
makes her happy. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
absolutely.
self-worth and then feeling confident in the person that you want and
Yes.
having that full experience together.
And realizing it's okay to be with someone that's not a part of the typical tapestry of your life. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy, he's not like that. He's a nerd and
Mhm.
he enjoys staying home and just talking to me.
Yeah.
You know, who is this guy? But people choose people that are like the people they know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to change that so that the brain realizes it's okay to get with someone that's completely unlike anyone it's ever known before.
Yeah.
And things will start changing when we do that. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So
if you
there's a
have
lot of
any,
hope for her.
yeah, and I hope she found some help
Yes.
the day that she wrote this post. Again, I did reach out to her. I would have worked with her for free to get her into a good place, but um, with Reddit, what I've observed is that people will post and then they'll delete
Yeah.
after the emotions have subsided. And obviously, I'm praying that that's what happened that night. She just deleted it,
Mhm.
found help, and is now moving forward.
Yep.
But if you have any suicidal thoughts, please seek help and go to the appropriate people. You can work with me as well. We'll find out what's obviously been impacting your mental health. We're going to get it to a good place so that you're not finding value or you're not getting your value from your life experiences. You're going to realize you're valuable as who you are, regardless of what happened to you. And when you do that and you realize that your value comes from somewhere deeper, somewhere more sacred than just something that happened to you at one point, you'll start seeing value in life. Anyway, again, reach out if you have any questions. You can find me at Healing Mindshift. My email is patrick@healingmindshift.com. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or you need help.